Welcome back to Spectation Sports. I am James Lynch. He is Adam Martin, taking a look at some prop bets for Saturday night's UFC 264 main event featuring Conor McGregor and Dustin Poirier. Adam, we love our prop bets. That's something you and I have always talked about here. A lot of interesting options. What are some props that you're looking at for this card?
Yeah, definitely, James. You know, I think we both kind of are feeling the same way about this main event in that we both lean a little bit towards Dustin Poirier. So I think if you are leaning towards Dustin like we are, James, I think you got to look at the prop on him winning by knockout at plus 200 because I do think that's most likely the way he wins this fight, guys. Having said that, it is MMA, and there's other ways to win. So I don't see this fight going the distance, James. I'll tell you that right now. I don't think it goes 5 rounds. But what about Dustin by submission plus 615? That's another one I was looking at because if this fight goes to the ground, James, I definitely think he can get a rear naked choke just like Khabib and Nate Diaz did. So, I'm on the Poirier side this weekend, James, and I think he does finish this fight. So if you guys are looking for some more value, take a look at those plus money props. I think that's the way to go for this fight potentially. So what do you think, man?
Yeah, I'm in agreement. I think you should pick your side, right? If you're picking Poirier, then I agree with you. I think it's likely going to be a finish, whether it's submission or knockout. Maybe it's a decision. You could get a little bit creative with the props and kind of, work your magic around. But if you're Conor, Team Conor, I think the knockout prop is really your best bet. I can't see Conor winning a decision here. If you remember the Nate Diaz fight, the second fight, it was a close fight. I don't think Conor wants to risk that again with the judges where it was too close for comfort. I think he is going to go for the kill. So there's a couple props from McGregor if you're on that side. I saw there's one, McGregor wins in round 1 or round 2 is like plus 200. So those are some props you could look at if you're on Team McGregor. But Adam, if you want to play this safe, I'll tell you a prop that I think makes a lot of sense here. The over at 1.5 is at minus 187. I think there's a lot of value there. I know, some people feel like we could see another quick finish, but I have a feeling this second fight or the third fight, I should say, will go a little bit longer. So maybe get a little bit creative with the over as well. That way it saves your ass in terms of potentially in terms of, if Conor pulls this off as opposed to Poirier. I'm also leaning Poirier in this fight. But yeah, and then the other thing as well is you can get a little bit creative with the round as well if you're looking at that too. If you're like me and you think it's going to be a little bit later, maybe you look at that round 3, round 4 props instead. That's where the value gets a little bit higher here as well. For example, fight ends in round 2 is plus 650. Like those are some good odds there. So maybe you can get a little bit creative. If there's a specific round you think the fight's going to end, maybe go that route as well. But that's just my thoughts. You can get a little bit creative with the props, but the one I like is the over because I do think this fight will go a little bit longer than last time, and you could parlay that with something else. Obviously, minus 187, not great value on its own. Anything else you want to cover, and then we'll get out of here.
Yeah, there's a few like funny props, James. I guess we could say. What about this one, James? There's a prop on the fighters bleeding that is plus money. Conor McGregor bleeding during the fight is plus 190, and Poirier bleeding is plus 120. Do you think someone gets cut open a little bit in this fight? You get plus
Absolutely,
money
yeah. Especially the longer the fight goes, right? Like this is a huge fight for both guys, especially with McGregor. I mean, if he ever wants to be a champion in any weight class anytime soon, he's got to get that. He's got to go for broke here. And if Dustin's only been knocked out one time at 155 against Michael Johnson, so it's something to keep an eye on for sure. So
here's one more, James. Here's one more. And this one's weird. I don't agree with these odds. It says fighters touching gloves before the fight is actually juiced at minus 300, but the no is plus 200. I don't think they touch gloves. I just think they go. Yeah, so plus 200, guys. Again, not every book has these props, but if you're looking for some like creative magic, like James is saying, that's something to take a look at. I don't think they touch gloves, James. These guys don't like each other.
I agree. Great time to wrap up the show. Thanks so much for watching. Enjoy the fights tomorrow. UFC 264 going down to the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas.